on, shake your body, baby, do that conga. No, you can't control yourself any longer. Come on, shake your body, baby, do that conga. No, you can't control yourself any longer.
From his own businesses as an entrepreneur, and we couldn't even afford to live in there when we first started the business. But that's just to show you what's been happening. So let's see what we've got on these slides. Christo always gets surprises when I put the slides together because he never sees them before we even talk about it. So let's see what I put in there, Christo, shall we? So who is behind the business? So myself and Christo, we are a husband and wife team. And then we've also got an amazing team, and some of them are here tonight. You can see all these gorgeous, beautiful girls, Ches and Anna and Bianca. And they help with the food preparation. Chess even baked some banana muffins. So you girls really have to eat food after because I over-catered. I went to Harry's farm. The girls love cheese and I don't. And they said, you really have to buy cheese. So I bought all this cheese. Anna said, that's not enough cheese.
That's a lot of cheese.
Please eat the cheese. I'm not into cheese. So that's me, that's Christo. Now my background, as you can tell, is very Aussie. I'm from this place in the middle of Australia. It's stunning. Have you guys been? This is near my house in Switzerland. And usually I used to hang out with these guys. This is my sister here and my girlfriend. and then I moved to Sydney in 2005. I first came here, so 9 years ago. I got a scholarship for Sydney University. So living in Switzerland, I was studying marketing and politics in Geneva, in the French part, but you can tell I have more of a maybe Swiss-German accent because I grew up in the Swiss-German part and then I lived in Geneva. I got a scholarship for Sydney and I moved here for a year. I only got the scholarship for 1 year, they paid my fees. And then I met this guy. That's how he looked 9 years ago. When I met you, you looked like this maybe.
Yeah.
And now he looks like this.
This is the problem when you don't prepare slides. I was busy working while she was preparing these slides. Look at Mark.
This is one of our team members. He's another Swiss guy because I love hiring Swiss. So if you know any Swiss people, I'll hire them. So this guy's not in Switzerland. But Christo is trying to be Swiss, but this is a Swiss belt that I got given by
imitating the Swiss.
So my background is when I moved here, so obviously we met and then fell in love as you do, and then I went back home for a year to finish my degree because I didn't want to start paying fees here because in Switzerland we don't pay a lot for university. And so I went back home to finish my master's degree and I came back because of Christo and I was working in advertising. So I worked in the big advertising industry, and I know some of you have worked in that industry as well. It's an interesting industry. I'm grateful for it, but then something happened, and I didn't put that slide in, but exactly actually 6 years ago, last week, I got a phone call from my brother from home, and it was a Sunday morning here, Saturday night in Switzerland, and he said our dad had passed away. Our dad had a heart attack. He was 58. 6 years ago, pretty much exactly. And he just had a heart attack and just died within an hour. And so I was in advertising, I got that phone call. My poor brother, I still now think, how did he do that? Like, it's incredible, like, it was a really shitty year. And then, but you know when you have those wake-up calls in your life, you're like, okay, what if I died? And I really literally thought that in my head, what if my heart is not going well? And what if I died right now? Would I be happy? And I looked at my life, I'm like, no, I wouldn't be happy. I'm working for other people, really long hours, they're not grateful, big corporates, they have money but they don't do good in the world. I don't want to do this. So I quit my job and we started Basic Bananas, and Christo has a little bit of a different background.
Yes, very different. I didn't grow up with the Swiss cows. I was never a good boy. No, I'll give you really quickly, like any young guy that grows up around here on the Northern Beaches, wanted to be a professional surfer. And I was very, very fortunate that I actually got to do it. I got to travel for 7 years full-time. I travelled internationally surfing, competing, and 2 years prior just domestically. And then I kind of was always going to start my own business. I don't know why, it was just always in me to have my own business. I could never work for anyone else. I had one job once and I quit on my second day. It was washing cars for Cock Crawford. I said, I'll see you out in the week, that's what a good guy I am. So I was always going to work, and both my parents, grandparents, everything, are all own their own businesses as well. So towards the end of wrapping up my surfing, I bought my first business was producing beginner surfboards like they use at Manly Surf School and Palm Beach Surf School, and we had a factory in Cromer with 5 guys and got to about 80% of the market in Australia. We kind of built it up over about 5 years of running that business, and a bunch of other surf labels as well. We brought some American labels to Australia, kind of built them up and then sold the rights to distribute them in Australia. And my role was always just, obviously as a business owner, was always in the marketing and learning marketing and implementing. I then decided to start building websites and things and got pretty fanatical about online business. I think it was from having a factory with all these overheads and all the production, and you wouldn't believe how many pieces go into one of those beginner surfboards, and then I wanted a business where I had as little stock and as little overheads as possible, and went into web and got into online marketing really passionately. And yeah, I still have some businesses sort of ticking away in the background as well, which are in the surf industry, and they don't take any time. I have some surfboards and things that we've brought in, distributed, and then I just now kind of wait on the, the revenue. But yeah, I guess we started, I don't know what's in the slides, so I better zip it. That's right, otherwise I'll jump ahead, won't I?
No, it's okay. Did you have something interesting?
No, I was just going to say about Basic Bananas. Like, why then suddenly it became Basic Bananas?
He's doing so well with all these women. And
I know.
That's very No, I'm fine.
You're a good guy. I actually thought he should wear a wig, but I forgot to bring one. I would have made him wear one, and I think he would have worn one.
No.
I'm not sure.
What a what?
A
wig.
No.
How we came about the whole Basic Bananas, even the name, like the other day somebody on a podcast, I did an interview on a podcast, and it was like an internet marketing podcast, and the guy said, what about the name? How did you come about the name? And because I have done a lot of branding and marketing in the advertising industry, I knew a little bit what needs to happen to create a successful brand, and we just brainstormed names, and we just knew we had to be different to everyone else out there, and we had to, and this is a good tip for you guys as well, we had to build a brand that is almost like an extension of us, rather than building something outside of us and we have to pretend to be something. We just thought, no, let's just make it an extension of us, we can be ourselves. It's a bit like, Richard Branson did the same thing. Every single Virgin unit that he has is an extension of him. You can see his character come through.
Yeah, he's one of Virgin's best marketing
Exactly.
strategies. One of the best resources Virgin has is Richard going out and being himself, doing crazy adventures, and it's in line with the brand.
And so when we thought about our vision, because that's another thing you need to do when you start a business, or even every single year or every day, you need to think about, why am I doing this? It can't just be for the money, because you're not going to go far. It has to be bigger than that. So why are you doing this? What's the purpose? Why are you in business? And so we decided we want to work with small businesses, because it's okay it's fun to work with big businesses, but they take too long to make a decision. And we move so fast in this space. There's so much new stuff, technology. Cyber Lady would know, the talking Angela.
I don't talk.
I don't even know about the app. That's how old maybe I am. But the stuff goes so fast. So we have to move faster. And with small businesses, you can do that. And so we decided, okay, let's work with small businesses. The other thing we knew is that if you ladies, I always want to say guys, because we usually have boys and girls in it, so I say guys. So if you ladies are doing well, you can have an impact not just on your own business and your own personal life, but on your family and even on a wider circle in your community. And I think that ripple effect is really great, and that's our vision.
Yeah, so it's kind of like we figure if as long as our focus, the entire focus of Basic Bananas is on the new business coming in, that's all our entire focus is on the marketing to ensure there's leads and business coming in, because then we know things will be okay. If the business owner goes on a holiday or is working with a client or is sick or whatever, it's not like starting again from scratch every time you kind of put your head back up. Who's ever been on a holiday and then returned and it's like starting from square one? Yeah, it's exactly.
Not
So
all of
kind
them. See, most of them are ripping. They go on holidays. Now
We don't go on holidays.
What holiday? What's a I knew she was going to say something. But this is a holiday here. Like every time I come back from overseas, I come here. I'm like, this is a holiday. Like I mean, not working, but this place here. Now, the other thing that when we built the brand that we got really clear on, and maybe you guys can do the same for your business, is what do we, so two things, what do we stand for and what do we stand against? So what do we embrace and what do we not want to have in the business? And that was a really good exercise, and those were the last, we updated this only this year. Every week we have beach meetings, and every beginning of every year we do a bigger planning meeting with the team, and we re-evaluate our values and what we stand for and against. So I won't just read them. And so I think thanks to being consistent with what we do and putting a lot of effort into the business, and as I said in the beginning, it wasn't easy. Like anyone who tells you it's easy is probably lying. So, but the other thing is this, it wasn't easy, but I think because there's like, you know, I know Christo's mom, she's my mother-in-law. She's a very wise woman, and I remember when, you know her, right? And a few of you know Marcella Hall, she's an amazing woman. We did a meditation class with her at home yesterday. She taught us meditation, and I'm sitting there thinking, this woman is 67, maybe, you never know how old she is. 67, I think. And she is now teaching meditation, and she's amazing. And so I still remember in the beginning of the business when it was hard, and there was no money coming in, and we had a mortgage and all this stuff. I remember she said, you know what, you just got to keep fighting, because there will be a point in your journey when it just tips. And that happened for us probably 8 to 10 months in, it started to tip. And then once it started to tip, it just started snowballing. I think the reason why is because we have been very consistent with what we provide. And we're always ethical, we never rip anyone off. I think we're good guys, and I think that's why we've been able to have a lot of media opportunities and just a lot of amazing things happen. Even the people that we have, that we attract, like our team, I'm really grateful for these guys because they're amazing. But I think we wouldn't attract them if we weren't consistent with what we do and actually meaning what we're doing. So, do you want to talk about like a little bit what we do here besides working?
We do as little as possible.
Yeah.
No, we do a lot. But obviously, you mean like, I don't know what's coming up, so we do...
This is just a cultural thing, and then we
Okay.
talk about other things.
Good. Okay, our culture. The culture is obviously we want to be ourselves. So the whole thing is about having fun and creating an enjoyable workplace as well, because obviously our life, a big part of our awake life is at work. And so we want to make it as enjoyable as possible. So we do things like, like Franziska mentioned, like a beach meeting each week and things. It actually inspires creativity as well. We did an adventure race recently where we did an adventure around Manly. It was kind of like the Great Race, like that, where we had it was all set up for us, and we had to do all these crazy adventures, which was fun. We made it by 1 minute, didn't we? Something like that. Like 4 hours or something. Oh yeah, hell yeah.
You might even know.
It was like by 1 minute.
Yeah, by 1 minute. It was like a 4-hour course.
One of the Inspiring Women members, actually, you might know her. She's a member of the Clever Bunch, Marina, the Russian lady. Have you guys met her?
Yeah.
Maybe she hasn't been here for a while.
She hasn't
but
been
she
for a
had
while.
Babies,
Yeah.
another baby, yeah.
Yeah.
She's amazing. She did the
City to Surf was this one. Obviously anything banana we can do about it. We adopted a whale as well. Some people might have been at our book launch when we donated all the proceeds to the International Fund for Animal Welfare, so we got to name a whale and adopt a whale. So there's baby cosmos out there somewhere.
No more baby, maybe.
Well, a couple of years old, I don't know how
Hopefully
quick they grow.
didn't get
Teenage whale.
Like, how do you actually know?
No idea.
You might be in your lipstick now, I'm not sure, hopefully not.
Yeah, true. Who we work with? This, the one that's...
We like work. These are basically people we like working with. So where's Shan? We don't have Shan in there.
We what we do, like one thing though, part of which sort of relates back to our business as well, is we work with people that we want to work with. We have there's two official criteria that we have for a client, is because people apply, and there's ones that we know that we can help them, so we know we're going to get good results because we have a good track record, so we don't want to spoil it. And so that's kind of like the business side of things. Well, they're both business side. The other side of it is if we would go to lunch with them. we'd hang out with the person.
Maybe coffee.
I'd go to lunch with
Come
anyone.
on, you've gone lunch
With you, of course, but you're an
Yeah.
exception.
And
Yeah.
breakfast.
She might have coffee. She might have coffee. I'll have lunch. But the reason being is because if we really like what they're doing and like the person as well, because behind that, I believe that as long as we're passionate about helping them, then we're going to do everything we can to make sure people get results. Because we do have programs and things, marketing, training, which is kind of very structured, and we make sure we tick all the boxes for everyone. Sometimes business doesn't follow an exact formula, so we have to adjust things and we have to do whatever it takes to help someone. So we want to be inspired to do that, and we also want our team inspired to do that. We don't want the team to kind of, have to bust their gut for someone that they're not passionate about helping. We want it to just happen automatically without ever having to think about that. So that's kind of our criteria.
And we'll go through this one pretty quickly. So basically a couple of our core offerings, because I want you guys to have time to eat and network. This is Christo on front of a glacier.
It's a Swiss glacier.
In Switzerland. My mom took us there. So what are our core offerings? Probably our most known and most popular program is the Clever Bunch. Who has heard of the Clever Bunch? Some have already been through. Cassie and Angela, Gina, Dina. That just said your name wrong, because I have a girlfriend called Gina. Dina. So this is a 10-month program. Let's see if I've got another slide here. Maybe we've got more people that we know. So this is the Clever Bunch.
Maguire there.
Who is there?
Helen on the side.
Oh, Helen Maguire and Ingrid. Yeah, she's also an inspiring woman. I always tell everyone to join Inspiring Women if they live in this area. A lot of them are also from Central Coast or from the city or the Blue Mountains.
Come on, shake your body, baby, do that conga. No, you can't control yourself any longer. Come on, shake your body, baby, do that conga. No, you can't control yourself any longer.